In this episode, we're going to dive deeper into a very common topic that we encounter both in Feng Shui and aesthetic medicine: moles.
Yes, in my line of work, I do frequently get questions about moles that appear on my client face. And of course, in this case, maybe we can invite Dr. Siu to share with us what is the definition of mole from the aesthetic medicine point of view.
So we've all seen moles. These are really a dark part of the face. These are usually very small, and what they are is actually a collection of pigmented cells called melanocytes. Moles can appear as a single one, or they can appear in groups. They can be flat or they can be raised. They're usually benign, however, in rare instances, they can be cancerous, and this is known as a melanoma.
So in today's sharing, I will share with you guys what does each of these mole mean on our face. Now, when a mole appears on our forehead, it actually means obstacles in our career. And of course, from the women's perspective, they tend to mean broken marriages, and this is usually a very inauspicious mole for women. We also notice in some celebrity, they do have a very big iconic mole on their forehead. And if you read about their life story, you tend to realize that they tend to go through a few marriages, right? So this is also an indication of an unfavorable marital luck as well.
Okay, I need to ask, does the size of the moles matter?
Yes, of course. The size of the mole tend to reflect the magnitude of the issues, right? I mean, of course, in some aspect, some people have very big moles on their cheek that tend to indicate, that they may always have issues with their bosses, obstacles in our career as well. And of course, for some people who are doing sales, it also tend to create challenges for them to close big deals. Some of my consulting career, we also tend to encounter, people who have moles appear on their nose or nose wing. So typically, they tend not to be very favorable because it tend to mean that they will either make financial misjudgment or mistakes when it comes to investment or trading. So these are some of the key areas that we do pay attention to.
So far you kept talking about moles that are unfavorable. Are there any moles on the face that are actually good for you?
Yes, of course. For moles that are hidden, they are generally considered auspicious moles. So for example, if you have moles on your ears, they tend to indicate health and longevity. Any moles that appear in your eyebrow, they are also indicative of benefactor luck and support as well.
Oh, that's really fascinating. So in aesthetic medicine, people either view moles as a unique part of their face, it gives them character and therefore they want to keep it, or they can view it as a blemish. Some people find that moles make their skin look dirty and therefore they may want to remove it.
So what are the treatment options that are available for patients who are looking to remove their moles?
We do a lot of mole removal in our clinic. We get that request quite a bit. So most of the time we actually use non-invasive methods in the form of lasers to remove the moles. I usually start off with an ablative laser. So we shave off the top of the mole using things like a CO2 laser. This can be used for both flat moles and raised moles. Often the moles actually go down very deep into the skin. And to finish off the deeper parts of the mole, we have to use a stronger laser to kill the pigments. So things like a picosecond laser would be very, very useful. Of course, if the moles are too big, then we cannot just use lasers to do the mole removal. What we have to do is to use a surgical excision. So in this instance, the doctor actually has to cut the mole out, stitch the skin back, and of course, the stitches have to be removed later. But before we even remove any moles, it's important to note that while most moles are benign, there is a possibility of a cancerous change. So if the mole looks suspicious, if they suddenly appear, they're growing bigger or they're changing in color and shape, please have it consulted, seek a dermatologist's opinion to make sure that the mole is safe before you do any removal.
Great. Thanks Dr. Siu for sharing. If you have any questions pertaining to modern aesthetic medicine or Feng Shui, do drop us a comment below.
If you enjoyed this video, please help to like, share and subscribe to Radium Group and Imperial Harvest.
Thank you.